Welcome to The Deep Dive, where we unravel the most complex technological shifts transforming our digital landscape. I'm your host, and today we're drilling into a potential seismic event in tech. What happens if Google Chrome gets forcibly spun off from Google's ecosystem? We're exploring a critical inflection point for no-code AI automation platforms. How will browser-based technologies survive and potentially thrive if Chrome becomes a standalone product? We'll dissect the potential consequences, uncover strategic adaptations, and reveal what this could mean for the future of AI-driven automation. From data scraping to authentication challenges, our experts will break down exactly what's at stake. Whether you're a tech innovator, business leader, or AI enthusiast, this episode will give you the insights you need to stay ahead of the curve. Buckle up. This is The Deep Dive.
All right, so get this. You guys sent in a ton of articles about a potential forced spin-off of Google Chrome and how that could affect no-code AI automation. And honestly, the implications are huge. Like, it's kind of mind-blowing when you start to think about it.
It really is. What's fascinating is how deeply embedded Chrome is in our digital lives. I mean, think about all the Google services it's tied to, like Gmail, Drive, all of those. This separation could really change things, not just for regular users, but for anyone who builds or uses tech, especially no-code tools.
You're saying this is bigger than just seeing a different browser icon on our desktops.
Exactly. One of the articles pointed out how this could disrupt no-code automations, those that rely on smooth data flow between Chrome and those other Google services. Like, imagine you have a no-code tool pulling info from your Drive to create reports, but suddenly the rules about sharing data change and boom, your automation just stops working.
That's a great point. A lot of what makes no-code tools so powerful is that ability to connect different parts of our digital lives.
Exactly. And that's where the big questions come up. How would a separate Chrome entity handle data access and privacy? Would they stick with Google's current policies or go in a completely different direction? This could have a ripple effect, changing the whole landscape of browser extensions and how they interact with our information.
Speaking of extensions, that's another potential issue, isn't it? So many no-code tools use Chrome extensions for everything.
Right.
Web scraping, task automation, even making the interface look different. What happens if the rules for extensions change drastically if Chrome is under new management?
It's definitely a possibility. Just think about it. An extension that your no-code automation depends on could suddenly become incompatible or just disappear from the Chrome Web Store. Developers would be scrambling to find workarounds, and in the worst-case scenario, some automations would just stop working.
So it's like pulling the rug out from under the no-code world.
Yeah.
Basically. And to add to all of this, some articles mention that Chrome could lose users to competitors like Edge or Firefox if it starts to seem less stable or reliable.
What kind of impact would that have on no-code AI?
Well, if fewer people use Chrome, developers would be less interested in creating tools and extensions for it. It's like a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Fewer users, fewer tools. And the platform becomes less appealing overall. We could end up in a situation where your awesome no-code automation only works for a small and shrinking group of people.
So potentially a lot of downsides. But are there any potential upsides mentioned in the articles? Could a separate Chrome lead to any positive changes for no-code AI?
Definitely. One of the most interesting possibilities is that an independent Chrome might be much more open to partnerships and collaborations. Think about it. We could see a wave of new features and integrations, specifically designed for no-code AI tools. Imagine browser extensions that are even smarter, more powerful, and way more versatile than anything we have now.
That's exciting. One of the articles mentioned something called cross-browser AI middleware. It sounded really complicated, but also kind of brilliant.
Right.
Can you break that down for us?
Basically, imagine building your no-code automation once, and this middleware acts like a universal translator, making your commands work on any browser. Chrome, Firefox, Edge, you name it. It would smooth out any wrinkles from a potentially fragmented internet.
So basically, you're saying that we could avoid needing a separate automation for each browser.
Exactly. It would be a game changer for people who aren't coding experts.
I like it.
And this is just one example of the kind of innovation that a more independent Chrome could bring about. We might also see AI browser co-pilots, basically intelligent extensions that guide you as you build automations. They could offer suggestions and troubleshoot problems in real time.
So like having an AI tutor right there in your browser. This is starting to sound less like a tech thriller and more like a really cool future. But let's get some real-world perspectives here. Several articles quoted Jonathan Lightfoot, the president of Symbiont. He seems to have some strong opinions on this whole thing.
He does. Lightfoot is a really respected voice in the no-code AI community, and he definitely doesn't hold back. In one article, he called this potential Chrome split a seismic shift in the technology landscape. He thinks it will have a big impact on both no-code platforms and extensions, and he's urging developers to think beyond Chrome and start building solutions that work on all browsers.
Browser agnostic.
Right.
So what does that actually mean for someone building or using no-code tools? What are some practical things they can do to get ready for this change?
Well, first, it's helpful to understand what browser agnostic really means. It basically refers to tools and platforms that are designed to work smoothly on any major browser, not just Chrome. It's like having a universal key that unlocks your automation no matter what browser you're using. And luckily, there are already some powerful technologies that can help with this.
So like tools that can speak the language of different browsers.
Exactly. Platforms like Selenium and Playwright let developers write code that controls multiple browsers, all using the same set of commands.
That sounds promising. But is that realistic for people who are using no-code tools? I mean, they're not writing lines of code, right?
That's a great question. And it brings us to a crucial point. How do we make these browser-agnostic solutions accessible to everyone, not just experienced developers?
Okay, that's a great place to pause for now. We've talked about some of the potential challenges and opportunities this Chrome spinoff could create for no-code AI, but we've just scratched the surface. When we come back, we'll dig deeper into some practical strategies for adapting to this new world, and we'll explore what a truly browser-agnostic future could look like for no-code enthusiasts.
Are you tired of being left behind in the AI revolution? Jack Roberts' AI Automations by Jack is your express ticket to tech domination. We're not just another community. We're a powerhouse of 1,700 AI automation leaders who are transforming businesses overnight. Imagine getting access to Jack's Make Automation systems, exclusive premium prompts, and weekly business strategy calls, all valued at over £15,000. For just $67 a month, you'll get guaranteed tech support, exclusive Make apps, weekly masterclasses, 100% solution guarantee. Don't just watch the AI revolution. Lead it. Join now using the link in the description and multiply your investment 100 times. Your future can't wait.
So welcome back to our deep dive into all things Chrome and no-code AI. Before the break, we were talking about those browser-agnostic solutions. Sounds great in theory, but how does that work in practice, especially for those of us who aren't, coding experts?
It's a great question, and luckily there are some really cool solutions out there that don't require you to be a coding whiz. Remember Jonathan Lightfoot, the president of Symbiont?
Yeah.
Well, he's really pushing for building what he calls a multi-browser developer ecosystem.
Okay, a multi-browser ecosystem. What does that even look like?
Well, imagine a space where developers can collaborate on building tools and extensions that work seamlessly across different browsers. They could share code swap best practices, even provide pre-built templates for those common automation tasks.
So basically a one-stop shop for anyone who wants to build a no-code tool that isn't tied to Chrome.
Exactly. And Lightfoot even suggests going a step further. He thinks we should launch a marketplace. Developers could buy, sell, and share those cross-browser tools and extensions. It would create a dynamic ecosystem, encourage more innovation, and make it easier for everyone to access these solutions.
I like that, like an app store, but specifically for browser-agnostic tools. But let's be realistic. Lots of people already have no-code automations that rely on Chrome extensions. If this spinoff happens, are they just stuck? Is there any way to migrate those workflows without starting from scratch?
Not necessarily. Remember those PWAs we talked about earlier?
Progressive web apps, right?
Yeah. They offer some really cool advantages here.
Okay, so remind me, why are PWAs a good fit for this post-Chrome world?
Think of a PWA as like a hybrid. It's a web app, but it acts like a native app, so it can provide a more consistent user experience across different browsers. And here's the key. PWAs don't depend on browser extensions to do their main job.
So even if the Chrome Web Store changes completely, or if extensions become harder to use, PWAs would still work.
Exactly. Plus, PWAs have other perks that make them great for automation. They can work offline, send push notifications, and they're generally more secure since they use HTTPS. Imagine your automation working even if your internet goes down. That's the power of PWAs.
Okay, I see your point, but I'm sure some people are thinking, sure, that's great for new automations. What about the ones I've already built? The ones that really rely on Chrome extensions? Can I even move those over to a PWA?
It's definitely possible. The complexity depends on the specific automation. It's like translating a recipe from one language to another. You need to understand the essence of what you're making and find the right ingredients and techniques to recreate it in a different setting.
Okay, I like that analogy. So you might have to make some adjustments, but you can still get the same outcome even if the process is different.
That's the idea. It might take some work and creativity, but with careful planning and execution, it's definitely doable. But this whole conversation highlights a bigger trend, don't you think? We're seeing a move away from platforms controlled by a single company like Google with Chrome and toward more open, decentralized systems.
That's an interesting point, and it seems really relevant to the no-code AI world. As these tools get more powerful, shouldn't we all have a say in how they develop?
Absolutely. And that's where open source tech and collaborative communities come in. By working together and sharing knowledge, we can build a future for no-code AI that's more fair and accessible for everyone.
I love that.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Not everyone learning about no-code AI is thinking about open source communities or the future of the internet. Lots of people are just trying to automate those simple tasks, make their lives a bit easier. What advice would you give someone who's brand new to this and feeling overwhelmed by this whole post-Chrome world?
I'd say don't freak out. The basic ideas behind no-code AI, making technology accessible and letting anyone build solutions, those are still super important.
So focus on the fundamentals.
Yeah.
And don't get too hung up on a specific browser or platform.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to try things out. The cool thing about no-code is that it encourages you to experiment and learn by doing. The tech world is constantly changing, so embrace that spirit of exploration.
Great advice. So we've covered a lot. The potential impact of the Chrome spinoff, different ways to adapt like PWAs and cross-browser frameworks, and the importance of understanding no-code AI concepts. But there's one more thing I want to explore. Many of the articles hinted at this deeper question. How will this affect the future of work and the economy?
That's a huge topic, and one that people have strong opinions about. One article even had a section titled, Cost Increases and Monetization Challenges. We need to think about how these changes could affect businesses both big and small.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if no-code automations will become more expensive to build and maintain, especially in this more fragmented environment. Could this mean that only larger companies with bigger budgets can keep up?
It's a valid concern, and it highlights the need for solutions that are not only technically smart, but also affordable. We need to make sure that everyone can use no-code AI, not just a select few.
So finding that balance between innovation and inclusivity. We want a future where anyone can use no-code AI, regardless of their technical knowledge or how much money they have. But I have another big question. What role will AI itself play in navigating this new world? We talked about using AI to make no-code automation smarter and more adaptable, but is there more to it than that?
Absolutely. One of the most exciting areas right now is the development of self-optimizing automations. Basically, these are automations that can learn from experience and adapt to changes on their own, almost like they can think for themselves.
So like an automation that can automatically adjust to different browsers or operating systems.
Yeah.
Or even different user preferences without needing someone to reprogram it.
Exactly. It would make automations much stronger and more resilient. And that's where machine learning comes in. We can train these automations using massive amounts of data so they can recognize patterns, make predictions, and even solve problems that we didn't specifically program them to handle.
So it's like giving them a toolbox and letting them figure out the best way to use it. Could this Chrome spinoff actually speed up the development of these smarter automations?
It's definitely a possibility. The need to build solutions that work across different browsers could push innovation in this area. Instead of seeing fragmentation as a bad thing, maybe it's actually a chance to create a more diverse and adaptable ecosystem for no-code AI.
That's a fascinating perspective. Okay, we've covered a lot in this deep dive. The potential impact of the Chrome spinoff, different ways to adapt, and even the bigger implications for the future of work. But before we finish up, I want to explore one final idea that keeps popping up in these articles, the idea of a post-Chrome internet.
Yes, that's where things get really interesting.
What would an internet without Chrome as the dominant browser even look like?
Right.
And would it be a better, more decentralized internet, like some people say? Or could it just lead to even more fragmentation and confusion? Those are some of the big questions we'll tackle when we come back for the last part of our deep dive.
In a world of changing technological landscapes, Symbiont AI is your strategic partner for navigating browser-based challenges and AI automation. We don't just adapt to technology, we transform how businesses operate. From AI-powered content creation to automated research and customized solutions, we bridge the gap between traditional workflows and cutting-edge automation. With 39 years of technology expertise and a proven track record working with government agencies like NASA, we deliver AI solutions that are reliable, innovative, and tailored to your unique business needs. Ready to revolutionize your operations? Call 1-800-SYMBIONT or visit Symbiont.com for a free consultation. Symbiont AI. Innovate, automate, grow.
All right, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive. We've talked about a lot of potential changes and challenges, but I want to zoom out and think about this idea of a post-Chrome internet. What did that actually look like? Is it just about different browsers, or is there something bigger going on here?
Yeah, that's a really important question. It makes us think about how much Chrome has shaped the internet we use today. I mean, it's been the top browser for over a decade, right? Setting standards and influencing how we experience everything online.
Right, for a lot of people, Chrome basically is the internet.
Yeah.
But as we've talked about, that dominance has also raised some concerns about control and centralization.
For sure. One company, Google, basically having that much power over how we access information and how we interact online. That's what makes this spinoff so interesting. It could be a catalyst for a more decentralized internet where power is spread out among more players.
A more level playing field where new ideas can flourish without being controlled by one big entity.
Exactly. And that's where all those things we've been talking about come in. Open source tech, collaborative communities, browser agnostic solutions. They could lead to a more fair and open internet for everyone.
I see what you mean. But couldn't this shift towards a more fragmented browser world also create more problems, like more chaos and things not working together? What if websites and apps start behaving differently depending on what browser you're using?
That's a valid point. We definitely don't want to end up with a bunch of digital languages that can't understand each other. But I think this situation could actually make developers focus more on web standards and interoperability. They'll need to make sure their creations work well across all platforms.
So instead of every browser doing its own thing, we might see more collaboration to make the web experience more unified.
I hope so. It would make the internet more predictable, more user-friendly, and in the end, more accessible for everyone. But let's zoom out even further. How does this all connect to the bigger picture of AI and automation?
That's the big question, isn't it? We already see how AI is changing the way we use the internet. Personalized recommendations, voice assistants, AI-generated content. But where is all this heading?
That's where things get super exciting. The internet is evolving fast, and it's becoming an AI-powered platform. And the tools that will let us control and shape that power, the tools that will give us the most control, are no-code AI tools.
So it's about empowering regular people to use AI and build solutions without needing to be coding experts.
Exactly. Imagine a world where anyone, regardless of their tech skills, can create AI-powered automations that work smoothly across all browsers and devices.
That sounds like a world with endless possibilities for creativity, problem solving, and making a real difference. It almost sounds too good to be true. But let's be realistic for a second. What about the impact on jobs and the economy? We have to consider that.
You're absolutely right. We can't ignore that aspect. AI and automation are already reshaping the way we work, and these changes are likely to accelerate. It's crucial that we have these discussions about how to navigate these changes and ensure that everyone benefits in the end.
So it's not just about building cool technology. It's about building a future that's fair and sustainable for everyone.
Exactly. Technology should help people, not replace them. It's about finding that sweet spot between innovation and social responsibility.
As we wrap up this deep dive, it feels like we're at a turning point. This potential Chrome spin-off the growth of no-code AI, the changing role of the internet, these are all connected forces that are shaping our future. How we live, how we work, how we connect with each other.
It's definitely a complex and ever-changing landscape. And there aren't any easy answers. But the exciting part is that we have the chance to shape this future, to create a future that reflects what we value and what we hope for.
So to everyone listening, stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged, because the future is being built right now, and we all have a part to play. What are your thoughts on all of this? We'd love to hear your predictions and ideas about the future of a post-Chrome AI-powered internet. Head over to our website or social media and share your insights with us.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time.
And that's our deep dive into the potential Chrome separation and its implications for AI automation. We've journeyed through complex technological terrain, exploring how no-code AI automation developers might navigate this potential industry shift. We thank our incredible sponsors, Jack Roberts and his wonderful school community members. If you are looking to learn about building no-code AI solutions, then AI Automations by Jack is where you need to be. And to our other sponsor, Symbiont, for businesses seeking turnkey AI solutions. Check out both of their details in the episode description. But here's where you come in. What technological frontier should we explore next? Drop your episode suggestions in the comments. Your input drives our investigations, so don't hold back. Whether it's an emerging tech trend, a disruptive innovation, or a complex digital ecosystem challenge, we want to hear it. Until next time, I'm your host. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep diving deep.